Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win, or you find a way to lose. Please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And if you feel like supporting Hood Champion a little bit more, become a member to the channel. That would be great. But let me tell you this, boy. The Mexican fans, they have been in my comments. They have been attacking Hood Champion. They say, look, man, we believe David Benavidez and that heart that he has will break Jai Opetaia. The Mexican monster doesn't quit. He will overcome Jai Opetaia. I'm like, whoa. Here we go. Because everyone knows that I've been telling you, David Benavidez is a beast. I just think with Jai Opetaia, it's an interesting fight. But I'm leaning slightly towards Jai. That's just me. But I totally understand and respect the fans who are supporting David Benavidez, because I support them both as fighters. So let me get that out the way. I am a boxing fan. So I support them both. But when I look at it, I like to have a little fun with the conversation. But anyway, David Benavidez and Jai Opetaia is no longer just being viewed as a boxing match by many fans. You can see, man, both sides are getting themselves worked up, and these guys haven't even agreed to fight yet. It's becoming a clash of fighting cultures, pride, and warrior mentalities. Now, I've done several videos, and I'm going to keep the videos coming. The Australian and Samoan supporters believe Jai Opetaia is too big, powerful, too disciplined for David Benavidez. But the Mexican fans out here, I mean, they got their horns blowing. Viva Mexico Cabrones. They believe something different entirely. They believe the Mexican heart, the pressure, the toughness, the determination will push David Benavidez through any adversity and carry him to victory. In this breakdown, I want to try to explore some of this stuff. The Mexican fighting culture, why fans call David Benavidez the Mexican monster, why Mexican fans believe pressure breaks fighters mentally, and why they think David's volume and heart can drown Jai late, and why many believe Benavidez was built for brutal fights like this. And that's why they're giving him all their support, and some of these people even saying they're willing to bet their house on it. Now, I'll tell you this. When it comes to Mexican fans and Mexican fighters, the one thing that comes up, and I would say it's synonymous with Mexicans, is heart. They believe heart matters most. And David Benavidez has heart. We all know he has heart. The Mexican fans are acknowledging something immediately. They say, you know what, we're going to be real. Jai Opetaia is big, naturally stronger, physically imposing, technically skilled. But we believe there's one thing Jai can't measure, and that's the Mexican heart. So I'm like, damn, okay, interesting. The Samoan heart versus the Mexican heart. Now, some say, well, man, David Benavidez, he's not even Mexican, he's American. Well, true, but his dad's from Mexico, so he qualifies. Just like his mom, I believe, is from Ecuador. So he qualifies for that. Then his grandfather is Dominican. So he kind of qualifies for a little bit of everything, but his dad is Mexican. He's the Mexican monster, so we're just going to consider him Mexican. I'm pretty sure his belly ain't American. How many of you guys watching this video, parents may be from another country, but you born and raised somewhere else? But inside that house, you raised with the culture that your mother and father grew up with. So you may be a citizen of somewhere else, but your belly is goddamn foreign. Your belly got its own passport, don't it? But that has nothing to do with the conversation. It's just that the Mexican fans just, again, that heart and pressure. And they believe Benavidez can change fights. And they believe he embodies that mentality perfectly. Now, I didn't know Benavidez frequents Mexico. I didn't know, especially in Guadalajara, he was out there and the people were flocking to him and going crazy. So Benavidez, he's starting to mean something to Mexican fans in Mexico. And you know what? I shouldn't be so surprised because his damn dad is from Mexico. So he's been there. You know what I'm saying? But this is the thing that I think has really helped him is all these years of challenging Canelo and wanting to fight Canelo, and Canelo doesn't want to fight him. Over time, I think that support that the Mexican fans were giving Canelo, they've just kind of adopted David Benavidez and said, he's ours now. So I think Canelo has hurt his own brand and hurt himself with the Mexican fans. He got booed at the damn Zurdo Ramirez Benavidez fight. That shit blew my mind. Like, damn, they're booing Canelo. But remember, people are now looking at Canelo as someone who's been putting duck sauce on the fried rice and just trying to get in easy fights and catch weight fights. So he lost to Terrence Crawford, and they're like, okay, here we go. So Canelo, he's not held in high regard like before. As a matter of fact, David Benavidez, everyone knows Canelo's been avoiding him. Then David Benavidez just went and beat Zurdo Ramirez, who was born and raised in Mexico. So Benavidez, he has a footprint out there in Mexico, man. So I do believe that he has a lot of Mexican supporters because I was sitting there going back and forth with like 15 of them. They talk about David represents toughness, aggression, pressure, fearlessness, pride, warrior mentality. And they love that David Benavidez never looks intimidated, and he doesn't fight cautiously. This is where I think he's going to run into problems with Jai Opetaia. But he will walk fighters down. I'm just trying to imagine him attempting to walk down Jai Opetaia. He might as well strap a bomb to his chest and detonate that shit, in my opinion. Unless he's smart about it and he can somehow land something with that speed early. I mean, there's a whole lot of what ifs there, but the bottom line is Mexican fans love fighters who move towards danger instead of away from it. David's not a guy who's looking to run from any danger. He's the Mexican monster. And the nickname itself matters deeply. All these fans believe David earned that name through that relentless pressure, punch output, the physical intimidation inside the ring, the stamina, mental toughness, and that find a way to win mentality. They're like, Benavidez is the truth, man. And when it comes to the Mexican supporters, they feel that nickname symbolizes a fighter who keeps coming no matter what. And that's just the heart. He fights with the heart of the Mexican people. And I'm telling you right now, that Mexican boxing culture is something different. You go out there and see guys getting a street fight in Mexico. They boxing. Even the old drunk guy, man, Esteban from the goddamn local goddamn bar in there sipping tequila with the worm in the bottle. Even he out there throwing goddamn, 1-1-2s and all kind of shit and taking a step back and encountering with the right hand. That's just something ingrained in the culture. And that's what makes it important because historically Mexican boxing culture celebrates endurance, body punching, pressure, grit, courage, fighting through pain. They believe that you don't need perfect defense if your pressure mentally breaks opponents down. And that kind of summarizes David Benavidez. His defense isn't perfect. He does have solid defense because he'll get hit, but he doesn't get hit that much. But the bottom line is the pressure. The pressure he brings mentally breaks opponents down. And this is what the Mexican fans are counting on. They're like, what's going to make Jai Opetaia any different? He's just a big guy who's going to be under pressure, and he's going to wilt. They point to the legendary Mexican fighters who overwhelmed opponents with pace, pressure, persistence, and determination. Many believe David fights with that spirit. So, as far as them believing David can break Jai down, I put it to you this way. They understand Jai is very dangerous, but they feel he's dangerous early. They believe David Benavidez becomes more dangerous as the fight continues. They believe David's engine is special and it's expanded, and when the fight gets going and they got to up it, David's going to be the one to up it, and that's going to make the difference in the fight. And again, I understand what they're saying. I'm not saying I agree. I understand what they're saying because they're constantly praising David's work rate. And they believe if he throws combinations at any pace, whether he throws them kind of medium or he explodes like a Gatling gun. They just think that the pace he's going to push and the way he throws 8, 10, 12, 14 punch combinations, there's nobody out there can maintain that, and even Jai. They're saying David Benavidez is someone special. And for his size, especially he goes back to fight cruiserweight, it's Jai and those guys, they've never seen anything like it. They've never faced speed like that, pressure like that, and somebody who's not intimidated. Now, another major argument from Benavidez fans is that Jai has skill, but he's never faced this kind of nonstop pressure. Well, I'll put it to you this way. David Benavidez has never faced someone like Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia is not Zurdo Ramirez. Okay? So let's be fair to both guys. But the Mexican fans believe David will force Jai into uncomfortable exchanges repeatedly and that his shots will get through, not Jai's. And the speed will create confusion and lead to Jai Opetaia getting stopped late in the fight. They say that eventually that pressure is going to break Jai's rhythm, break his confidence, and drain his stamina. And again, I understand what they're saying. They believe David turns fights into wars of attrition, something Jai hasn't dealt with. But the one thing for sure, they're not bringing up the fact that Jai has been in fights where he had to dig deep. And Jai didn't quit, he won. So although they think that David's mentality is elite, Jai's is elite as well. They both have it, man. But the Mexican fans are going to describe David as more hungry, more determined, more obsessed with proving himself to Jai Opetaia. And that's going to be the difference. And they're looking at the years of criticism, him being a young kid, tall, fat, looking at the controversy being avoided by opponents, doubters questioning his greatness. They're just like, yo, that frustration has fueled David Benavidez, and it's not going to stop just because he's going to be facing someone like Jai Opetaia. They feel like he and Jai, they can put the pen to paper, some wet ink. They feel a super fight with Jai would bring out the absolute best version of David. And the Mexican fans believe David thrives in violence, which so does Jai. Another major belief, David doesn't mentally collapse in hard fights. I don't think I've ever seen him collapse or look too worried except when he was fighting Gvozdyk. You could tell he had to dig deep in that fight. 2 more rounds, I think Gvozdyk would have stopped him. I don't know why David looked so lethargic and exhausted. I don't understand what happened in that fight. But maybe because he was just fighting a great fighter. Maybe Gvozdyk is what happened. But one thing I do know is Benavidez, he grows stronger emotionally when fights become brutal. So the Mexican boxing culture deeply respects fighters who embrace adversity. And they believe David loves the chaos and he loves the adversity. And that's why they say, the size won't matter. It won't scare David. Jai Opetaia being big and strong and such a dominant force at cruiserweight, the cruiserweight king, that doesn't mean anything to them. It doesn't. They say that he's bigger, but he doesn't have more skill, doesn't have more IQ. He has the size advantages, but he doesn't have the IQ advantages, the speed advantages, and some would say Jai doesn't have the power advantage. And then they look at the confidence, and they're like, David Benavidez has more confidence. Just look at the physicality of the fights and the willingness to exchange. They're like, there's no way in the world Jai Opetaia would beat a guy like Benavidez. But I'll tell you this. David may mentally walk into fights expecting a war. Jai Opetaia is different. You can't come in there expecting a war with Jai Opetaia and then when the real deal starts, decide to run. Because Jai Opetaia is an animal, man. And if that fight gets signed, I'm telling you, he is going to show us some serious different levels and layers to his game. And so is David Benavidez. But nonetheless, the fight's becoming bigger than boxing. I got more and more fans talking about it. They just think it's a cultural collision, man. You know, you got the Mexican fighting pride versus the Australian toughness plus the Samoan warrior culture. I mean, there's a whole lot of different elements, man, inextricably connected with this fight. And that emotional investment is making this fight feel massive already. I don't know where they're going to have this fight if they can get the deal signed. I don't know where they would have it. I would think they would have to fight in Vegas. Jai Opetaia. Excuse me, I keep yawning. And David Benavidez, especially with Jai fighting stateside now, they'll probably have that fight in Las Vegas or in Saudi Arabia. You know, you know what, that would be interesting. They get the big Uso over here fighting in America and Vegas. David Benavidez back in Vegas. Shit, I tell you what, one thing for sure, fans would be excited about that. They won't be debating skill anymore. They'll be talking the whole time about identity, about mentality, about the fighting spirit of both guys. And the Mexican fans are going to be supporting David. And, you know, the Australian fans, Samoan fans are going to be supporting Jai. But I'm telling you right now, man, the Mexican fans have been hit. They've been going at my neck. They don't agree with me. They believe David's going to find a way to win, just like Hood Champion says. He has too much heart to lose quietly. Even if hurt, if behind, if exhausted, he's going to keep coming. He's not going to quit. And I'm telling you right now, in Mexican boxing culture, that mentality is scared. They believe the fight becomes ugly, gritty, and emotionally exhausting. This is where Benavidez becomes the most dangerous. I'm just telling you this, man. When it comes to the Australian and Samoan fans, they believe Jai Opetaia is superior in every which way, especially physical force. Then the Mexican fans believe David Benavidez possesses something deeper. That relentless pressure, warrior mentality, the Mexican fighting spirit that refuses to surrender. And to them, the Mexican monster is not just a nickname, it's a mentality. And I'm tracking with everything that they've said. Because boy, oh boy, have they been giving me the business in my DMs on Twitter and on Instagram. But that being said, Mexico believes in the monster. And he says his heart never breaks. Well, I'm just praying the boxing gods makes this fight come together. Because I can't wait. Y'all keep cool, I'm in the breeze.